Hello there. I've made quite a bit of progress. I'd say the code is done, and I'll show you here how it works effectively. So we have here the original command that uses ytdlp. Hey, you rascal. I got someone interested in other things. So I issue this ytdlp command. Oh, hold on a second. Come here. Come here, the superstar. Oh, I'm gonna get you anyway. Oh, all right. So I issue the ytdlp command, and what that does, it fetches the kind of the butthole of geez, I'm so damn tired right now, you wouldn't believe it. This has been exhausting for me. I'm not a coder. So doing this was tough for me. You know, there are people who could probably do this in their sleep. That will never be me. Anyway, it scrapes the API side of YouTube. When you go to YouTube, there's a shit ton of stuff happening in the background. For example, look at this. I'm going to click that. I'm going to do inspect element. And look at this horrendous amount of shit that's... I'm trying to get the window too. So, you know, this just kind of shows you when I hover. Well, it's not working anymore, but it was. Okay, yeah, so when I hover the mouse over here, it shows you what element. I mean, look at this, right? That's a fraction of the code that's behind this. It's wicked. I mean, it's very, very involved. There are many, many really good coders who don't know what the hell that is, and you know, there's just the world is full of a lot of code. So it was complex because basically what I had to do is let me get back to this. So that pulls out all the comments. It pulls the invisible comments. If the comment has not been nuked by YouTube, it still shows. I don't know 100% sure if deleted comments from the channel operator show or not, but all the shadow ban comments do. The pending comments held for review, shadow banned, where the channel operator might hide a user, which is really nasty. I don't think anyone should do that. You have an option to just delete it, but some people choose to hide the user, and then they think, you know, they leave a comment, they see it. It's just misleading. But where the hell was I? So I'll just start somewhere else. Once this pulls this file here, it's a big fat file. Now notice this. I've got something stuck in my tooth. And I don't think it would help just to bash my teeth out. That's not the way. But you can see that it has 883 comments now. At the time that I executed that command, it was, you know, I think 806. But at 806 comments, and all the data that comes with it, because it, you know, there's a lot of metadata. I'll just show you, I'll give you a little glimpse. Now 1 megabyte is big. To give you an idea, look at how big this file is. It's got over 1 million characters in it, hence the megabyte, and 60,000 words. So this is just, that right there is comment material. There's a username, there's a comment. It's a lot of shit to sort through. That's what computers are for. So once I have this mastered JSON file, I run this code here, which it looks small, but it took a long, long time, all right? So once this code is executed, what that does is it uses Selenium. And that's Python and Selenium. It basically opens up a browser and it's scripted automation. So it opens up a browser on its own. It's all automated, and it just scrolls through and clicks all those comments. and it clicks the nested comments, and it has to keep hunting through, and that takes a long time. For 800 comments, it was 20 minutes. It got all the comments. Now, originally, I don't know if I'll even show that part of the video, but I had spent a shit ton of time searching for 13 comments, because I kept getting 13 in the main file, but then the two files that are generated by that code, which are right here, hidden, invisible. So it separates them into two different files. So if you want to see all the censored comments or the ones that are pending, you'll see that in this one here. I'll just open it up for a minute. So notice how this is all cleaned. It's much different. But every comment you see in here, question, were you sexually molested? Did the same, fuck this guy for shilling. Well, anyway, these are all the comments that no one will ever see. We can see them. And that's big. That's 94 kilobytes, and it's a good fat size file. Now, here is the visible comment file, and that's much bigger. Well, let me see if I can get my head on straight. You ever stay up for 24 hours, that's kind of the state I'm in, plus some beer, and the beer helps in one way, but it doesn't help in another way, if you know what I mean. So it creates these two files, and once I'm done with that, I run, well, I just named it the censorship ratio, and I'll show you what that does. I'll come here and, oh fuck, never mind. Let's see here, I'm doing this one-handed. All right, now watch this. Okay, let me go ahead and clear that so you can see it. All right, so there it is. Now, the only problem with this is that I have to use one name at a time, and that's hard-coded into the file, so I have to modify the script for a target name. That can be optimized. Anything can be done. So, but mostly what I search is me, my missing comments. You can get this code and do it yourself and put whatever name you want in there. But what it does is it shows total comments in the API. As I had mentioned, I had seen 13 because there are 13 occurrences in the master file. But what those 13 occurrences are, is they are, so let me show you this. When you go to reply to a comment, watch what happens. Let's click reply. No, what the fuck? Cancel. Reply. Well, that's bizarre. Did they change the API already? No, okay, that's what I was looking for. So for some reason it wasn't doing it there, because I guess it's not nested enough. Let me also explain to you the difference between a standalone and nested comment. This here, that's what you call a parent comment. I call it standalone, it's a parent. These are all replies, so they're nested. But then you go further into the nest, a reply to a reply, then you get this. But if you see here, get the fuck out of here. It's happening again. I'm so tired right now, I'm really inefficient. Okay, well, normally what happens, there we go. That's what the example I was looking for. If you look here, you see the @ symbol in the name of the person I'm responding to. So if someone replies to me, this is included in the reply, and that was what accounted for. Are you tired now? You gonna stop yelling at me? You gonna stop yelling at me? Okay. That's why I had 13 occurrences, and I had been just fixated on that, not thinking clearly and being tired. So I kept redoing the code, and I had the same problems until AI helped me identify the problem, and we solved it. And anyway, back to this. Turns out I only had a total of 6 comments, but only 2 of them are visible, 4 of them are hidden. Well, the cool thing about this is it gives me a ratio. It gives me the suppression rate, 66.7% suppression ratio with my comments. Now, that won't necessarily always be the case, but on Sean Ryan, he has a tendency to suppress intelligent comments. I will show you something that's worth explaining. As you might have deduced, I'm not presently a fan of Sean Ryan. I used to be really fond of him. I had a beautiful spoon that I spent a whole day and a lot of additional time finishing. It was a beautiful, if you're familiar with the ichthys symbol, it was made of cocobola wood, the same wood as this. This is another little spoon I made. And I carved an ichthys in the handle. So the handle was an ichthys. It's a Christian symbol, and I thought, I really want to give this to Sean Ryan. And he told me to dump it at an orphanage. So I thought, what the hell? But that didn't discourage me. I remained a fan. But it's the recent propaganda that I've seen. Some people saw this way in advance. It took me a long time. I'll be covering that soon. And I'll give you some really good examples of why I made my decisions. But yeah, Sean Ryan's platform is huge. And it has some of the biggest people in the world. Peter Thiel, man, I'm covered in fur. That's part of my diet, by the way. I have to use scissors to take a shit. Not really, but it's well worth it. So he's had Pete Hegseth, he's had Donald Trump on his podcast. Yeah, so it's not a joke. And there are many, many, many people who want to get on that podcast to use it as a platform, a stage for propaganda. And it's been happening a lot lately. So that's why I'm on his ass. But he normally censors intelligent comments. If you look at go into his other videos, and at the top you'll see emojis, one-line comments. The first 20 comments is, oh, this is great, wow, great job, man, all this inane dumb shit, which is cool, right? Everyone wants to say good job. But do you want all that stuff at the top? No. That's what the upvotes are for. How many people upvote a fucking emoji to get that to... Anyway, this is an interesting anomaly, and I'll tell you why. I think that this comment is at the top because of... I actually think it could have something to do with me, because I've informed Sean that I'm really pissed off at what he's doing. This was my last comment, and it's probably shadow banned, but it's still showing for some reason. Test comment, Sean is a sperm whale. This comment is a test. I was doing that for my research. But anyway, this is the significant thing I want to show you. This is a substantial comment. This is the kind of comment, not necessarily the message, but the style of comment that should be more frequently at the top of many more comment threads on many more channels. But you'll notice throughout YouTube, the worst comments tend to go to the top, the dumbest ones. This is intelligent, it's well written, and it's mostly true. So if you want to pause and read that, I'll briefly read it to you. It's pretty clear. The AI elites are using Sean Ryan's podcast to sell their agenda as something good for people similar to you and me. Either Sean is knowingly playing along, or he is completely blind to how he is being used. They're using patriotism and national security as a Trojan horse, framing AI as a weapon we must wield before someone else does, when in reality, it's a tool for global surveillance, behavioral control, digital obedience. Sean Ryan's platform is being used to make it all sound noble. I'll let you finish the rest, but it's a pithy, solid comment. But notice at the end, he says, I am sure with 100% guarantee that this comment will be deleted. No, I can't be certain, but I honestly think I have a little bit to do with this not being deleted, because I've been putting a lot of pressure on Sean in the comments through various methods and letting him know what I think. So this comment has been allowed to be the top comment, and it's highly critical, and it has 479 upvotes. That's substantial. It has 117 replies. That got a lot of attention. Apparently, a lot of people agree with that. And he's taking the chance. And why is that? Is he doing that? Is it his team making an intelligent decision to say, well, we have to pretend that we're not, too bad, we need to give some kind of appearance of balance? Or is it people in his crew or him himself saying, we know it's happening and we don't agree with it, so we're going to let some information out, but, we're working at our own pace with our constraints, and this is the best we can do. But yeah, here, I don't know. One can only surmise why it's there. Sean knows. But I thought that was really significant, because typically you go throughout all the other videos, you won't see this kind of comment at the top. All right, so that being said, that's pretty much it. So at this point, now there's another issue. Once again, I'll show you this. Why is it doing this? It's me, I'm being stupid. It's still difficult for me to see the screen with glasses on. This is a high resolution screen. So when I do that, you just see all this stuff that's going on. Well, what I just clicked on is the, I don't know what to call it, but you see that right here. And it has an XPath. And if they change one little word, so it says YT spec touch feedback, if they change that to YT spec touchy feedback, it breaks my script. And they do that very frequently. You know, it's done, you know, automatically, deliberately, but the YouTube does not want people scraping. They don't want that. Anyway, so I will have to keep the script updated, but right now it works. I can go to any channel on YouTube and see the ratio of invisible comments to visible comments and go through all the real comments. Now, the hidden value in that is this, okay? What that can be used for in the future, if I continue with this project, is we can analyze all of the hidden comments and we can find statistical factors, trigger tones, trigger subjects, trigger words. And if we compare that to enough random samples of other text, we will find signatures. And we will be able to take that and use those signatures as indicators for what trigger the censorship. And let me tell you again, I've said this before, I'm saying it again, they're not what you think. It's not because someone uses profanity. It's not because of this or that. Some of the most heavily censored comments are the nicest, most rational comments. You can have a violent thread, and someone comes in and says, hey, we should really think about this and be more kind to each other. That will get deleted. You'll see a very weird example of that in my next episode on Kyle Odom. Extremely, extremely bizarre subject. One of the most bizarre stories I've ever encountered. I've already lost my train of thought. But yeah, the analysis, that's what can be done with this data. So if I can keep this script alive, there's a lot of power here beyond just doing what I'm showing you here. That said, I guess I'll conclude there. But we're moving along, we're gaining some momentum, and we're going to do some interesting stuff. And Paramount Tactical already told me he was interested in this project. I've already had a conversation with James O'Keefe of O'Keefe Media. That was huge. It was accidental. I never saw it coming. But I came into a comment. I think maybe I'll add that here, so I'm going to edit that into this. So now that you've seen that, you can see that that's not the exact example, but I was having my comments deleted, so I contacted James, and I left a message on what I was hoping was his phone number, and I didn't know, because it didn't really sound convincing, but a couple hours later he called me, and I kind of just dropped my jaw. I didn't expect it. I was a little stunned, but he was cool, and he said, what can I help you with? And I told him, I said, there's a really weird form of censorship happening, and, that's bad. And he said, well, it's beyond my control. In other words, he said, he's not doing that. So that, if he's being truthful, which I think he is, then that indicated that that was one example of the YouTube-based black box censorship. There's no way you can see the reasoning for that. That's all proprietary black box shit. And, he said he was going to look into it because that concerned him. But the exact subject was someone saying that those transvestite people should be locked up. And I just came in there and I said, no, what they're saying is ugly, it's terrible, and it's worthy of a fist fight, but we can't go abusing the legal system and lock them up when they're actually protected by the First Amendment, because they did not threaten anyone. They didn't even really defame anyone, so that it's unfortunate. Well, it's uncomfortably protected by the First Amendment. So I came in and said, very politely, hold on, don't do that. Comment deleted. Another comment, a guy says, make queer bashing great again. So I came in there and I said, hey man, I know that everyone's going to be pissed off watching this, but that's just a stupid statement. I mean, there are lots of gay people out there that don't say disgusting things. They're upstanding, good people. What they do behind closed doors, it may not make everyone happy, but it's what they do. So, and I said that rationally without any profanity or anything. Gone. Those two that's what made me call James. So there are a couple of pretty heavy hitters that may be interested in this, so we'll see where it goes. Speaking of, I always love to show everyone the silly stuff I work on. It's a homemade walnut pipe with a Cocobolo mouth bit. It actually smokes fairly well. And I have here a little alien sculpture. Showed that a long time ago. That took a long time. It's pretty neat. Anyway, I don't think I'll be doing much crafting for a while. I'm in pain right now, and I'm really fucking uncomfortable, and my whole body, my soul hurts. So, if you're one of the original subscribers and you were here for the craftsman stuff, someday I hope I'll get back to that, but I don't think I'll be doing much. I did make a dough knife. Yeah, a Chinese guy gave me a lesson on homemade wheat noodles, so I'd been making my own noodles from scratch. And when I spread them out on the granite, I didn't know what to cut them with because I didn't want to scratch the granite. So I made two Cocobolo wood knives, and they're pretty nice and they work great. So I did record that, so I might put that up, but that's old and I still don't think I'll be doing much. But hey, thanks for taking a look at this. This is very serious subject material. Again, to remind you, to put this in perspective, YouTube itself is the world's foremost media platform. It's everywhere in the world, everyone uses it. When we're looking at our public dialogue, we don't need a distorted perception of what is really taking place in public discussion. We need the truth. In any effort, whether it's YouTube or the people who actually have the right to do that, the channel operators abusing it and taking it too far, we don't need that. We need an honest representation of public discourse minus the stupid stuff. If someone comes in and just says murder, murder, death, 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 delete it, that's fine. But you will see in future episode that it's the stuff that's being deleted. It's nothing any rational, reasonable, honest person would ever censor. All right? This is serious stuff. We've got a society that's bursting at the seams, and we have fake dialogue. We've got to talk about this stuff, and we need to do it politely. No matter how much you disagree, you got to just pause, go get a drink, whatever, come back, and just not attack people. It doesn't work. It feels good, feels righteous. It just doesn't work. It really doesn't. We've been trying that for a long time. It's not working. To get to the root of the terminal illness that's eating society, it's going to be an individual, collective effort, and it's going to be you, actually, you. Just changing yourself in good ways. And if you do that, someone else will. It's guaranteed. It rubs off. It's contagious. It's part of the problem. Our illness is contagious, and it's infecting a lot of people. So we need to get contagious with wellness and stop a lot of this shit. It's not going to be perfect. I screw up all the time, especially when I'm doing this, because I have to just generate comments, and I'm not proud of them. But that's it, guys. Ta.